Hello everyone. Today we're going to learn about a couple of things. We're going to review fiction and nonfiction books, and we're also going to start learning a little bit about butterflies. So we've talked about fiction and nonfiction a little bit before, but let's review. Fiction books are books that are made up stories. They have drawings, they tell a story, and a lot of the time we read a nonfiction book just for fun. They might have aliens, princesses, made up animals, like unicorns, and sometimes they'll even have animals that talk and do silly things. Non-fiction books, though, tell real information. They give us facts. Instead of drawings, a lot of the time they have photographs, like pictures that you might take with your camera. And a lot of the time you're going to read non-fiction books to learn something. So they might tell about science, buildings, real people, real animals. We read a lot of non-fiction books about penguins, if you might remember. We read nonfiction books about the weather, and they might tell about weather, science, transportation, all sorts of different things. So I've got a pile of books here. Some of these books we've read before, some of them we haven't read before. And we're going to look through each book, and you're going to help me decide if it's fiction or nonfiction. Remember, fiction means it's made up. Nonfiction means it's real. So how about this one? 10 apples up on top. What do you think? Is it fiction or nonfiction? Well, when I look at the cover, I see some animals, and they're holding hands. Do animals usually get to hold hands? No. And they're also balancing apples on top of their heads. And the picture also looks like a drawing. It doesn't look like a photograph. So those three things tell me that this is probably a fiction book. It's made up. How about this one? This one is called Animal Shelters. The front cover has what looks like a photo of bees. Let's look at the inside, see what else we see. Ooh, I see more real photos. Ooh, I see real animals. So that tells me that this is probably a nonfiction story. It's going to tell me information about where animals live. How about this one? We've read this one before. The Three Billy Goats Gruff. What do you remember from this story? Well, I remember that the animals talked, and there was a troll. Are trolls real? No. Do animals talk? No, so that tells me that this story was probably fiction, made up. How about this one? Twisters. I see a photo on the front. That gives me a hint that it's probably nonfiction. Ooh, look at that. I do see some drawings, but I also see photos, and I see lots of information that looks like it's true, looks like it's facts. This story is all about twisters, which are like tornadoes. And so this is a nonfiction book. This book is called In the Pond, and it's all about animals that live in the pond. The animals don't talk. It just shows us pictures of what animals in the pond look like and what they do. So this is also nonfiction. It's real. How about if you give a pig a pancake? Do pigs eat pancakes, boys and girls? Well, they might, but we don't usually feed them pancakes on purpose. Do they? Let's see. I remember the pig. She tap dances, doesn't she? There it is. Can pigs tap dance? No. So if you give a pig a pancake, it's definitely fiction, make-believe. Here's a little story about butterflies. It's called It Could Still Be a Butterfly. Do you think this is going to be fiction or nonfiction, just looking at the front? If I look at the front, I see a photo of a butterfly on a flower. And that's definitely something the butterflies do. And if I look through it, I see more photos of butterflies, and I see facts about butterflies as well. So that tells me this is nonfiction. It's going to tell me real things about butterflies. How about Ping Pong Pig, one of our favorites? Is Ping Pong Pig fiction or nonfiction? It's definitely fiction, and we know that because the animals in the story talk, they jump on trampolines, and they do chores on the farm. Usually people do chores on the farm, not animals. And then how about this one? Caterpillar to Butterfly. This is the book we're going to read today in just a minute. What do you think? Fiction or nonfiction? I see pictures of butterflies in here. They all look real. They're not doing anything, they're flying, which is something that butterflies do. I see pictures of caterpillars. I bet this is going to be nonfiction. It's going to tell us facts about butterflies. And here's a story we read yesterday, The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Do you think this was fiction or nonfiction? Definitely fiction. The caterpillar eats all these human foods, doesn't it? It eats all the human foods, and then it also, look at these. These are drawings instead of photos. So this is probably fiction, make-believe. Didn't really happen. So boys and girls, remember fiction and nonfiction. Fiction stories are make-believe. Nonfiction stories are real. So today we're going to read Caterpillar to Butterfly, and it's going to give us some facts and help us learn something new about butterflies. Are you ready? It starts with a riddle. What starts as an egg, then walks on many legs, and then uses wings to fly? What do you think? A butterfly. Beautiful butterflies. Butterflies are fun to watch. They fly with loops and dives. Some have bright colors, and some have patterns too. So those are some pictures of different types of butterflies. 4 stages. It's also fun to watch butterflies change. They change a lot in their short lives. In fact, there are 4 stages in a butterfly's life. Stage 1, they start out in a little egg. Stage 2, out of the egg comes a caterpillar. Stage 3, the caterpillar makes a chrysalis that they live in for a couple of weeks. And then out of that chrysalis, stage 4, comes the butterfly. All about stage 1. A mother butterfly lays many eggs on a leaf or a branch. Each egg is close to food. Caterpillar food, that is. So here is a Malayan egg butterfly, and she's laying her eggs on a leaf. Do you see that? Pretty cool. Stage 2. The tiny caterpillar bites a hole in the egg. It crawls out, and the caterpillar is very hungry. So then the caterpillar eats its shell. Then it eats the leaf it's on. The caterpillar moves on to another leaf, and it eats that too. So when caterpillars are first born, they're super hungry. Kind of like that very hungry caterpillar from that story we read yesterday. The caterpillar grows and grows, and it gets too big for its skin. So it sheds its old skin, kind of like a snake. The new skin fits for a little while, but then the caterpillar gets too big for that skin because it keeps eating. And they shed their skin 4 or 5 times. Pretty interesting, huh? Stage 3, the chrysalis stage. Can you say that with me? Chrysalis. By now, the caterpillar is ready to rest. It hangs upside down. It sheds its skin one last time. The new layer is called a chrysalis. It is a hard shell. Inside, the caterpillar is changing. It stays in the chrysalis for 10 to 14 days. That's a long time. Stage 4, the chrysalis moves. It splits open, and the butterfly wiggles out. Its wings are wet and crumpled. So when the butterfly first comes out of the chrysalis, it can't fly quite yet. Blood pumps into the butterfly's wings. They get bigger and they harden. The wings dry out, and now the butterfly is ready to fly. Have a good trip, butterfly. Time for lunch. A butterfly doesn't eat plants like a caterpillar. It doesn't have a mouth. Instead, a butterfly drinks nectar from flowers. It drinks juice from fruit. A tube on its head works just like a straw. Slurp. Yum, yum. And now for some cool butterfly facts. Fact 1. Butterfly wings are covered with teeny tiny little scales. Did you know that? Fact 2. The world's smallest butterfly is the blue pygmy. It's the length of a pushpin from wing to wing, so it's about that big, super tiny. Fact 3. Butterflies are found all over the world except in Antarctica and dry deserts. Fact 4. There are about 17,000 kinds of butterflies in the world. Step 5. Butterflies taste with their feet. That's where their taste sensors are. Where are our taste sensors? They're on our tongue, aren't they? But butterflies, remember, they don't have a mouth like we do, so they taste with their feet. And last fact, the world's largest butterfly is the Queen Alexandra birdwing. She is about as long as a ruler from wing to wing. Caterpillars and butterflies are tasty snacks for predators, but they have some special tricks to keep them safe. Some hide using camouflage. That means they blend in with things that match their colors. And some caterpillars and butterflies are actually deadly for other animals to eat, so they stay away from them. Pretty cool. Bring butterflies to you. Did you know you can bring butterflies to your backyard? All you have to do is make a butterfly garden, but first you need to ask an adult for help. Here is what you need. You are going to need plants that are local to your area. You need plants that bloom and have flowers all the time. Butterflies really like orange, purple, yellow, pink, and red flowers. They also like flowers that are grouped together. They like flowers that are flat on the top. They also like sun, so if you have a lot of flat rocks that get sunlight, they would love that. They also need a place where they can drink, so somewhere wet, and you can't use any chemicals because those can hurt the butterflies. What in the world? These pictures show close-up views of butterfly wings. Do you see those? Look at that. So boys and girls, that is all about caterpillars to butterflies. Did you hear a lot of facts in that story? Did you learn a lot about butterflies and caterpillars in that story? That is exactly what a nonfiction book is all about, learning about different animals, places, and things. So thank you everybody for listening to Caterpillar to Butterfly. Have a great day.